So we've got Nick and Brent. I know, like my screen's different. And let's share Happy Friday stories. It's been a while since we've done it. I think we missed last week, but who wants to go first to share happy stories?
I'll go. So this week was a really good week for Ben and Kiva. Had a couple of really good things come through, a couple more contracts coming through, and then so obviously that we started discussing resourcing, and we've got one team overseas that we're potentially looking at doubling just immediately. So that's pretty cool to hear. And then we've got a really cool story. I literally just got off a call shortly before this one with a gal that manages, Amanda, who manages our HR. And, we've got a couple of interns that are actually 3 interns that are currently working with us. And it appears that maybe 1 or 2 of them might move forward with coming on as full-time employees at Ben and Kiva. So I think it's kind of cool that now we've even successfully done a internship to learning who Ben and Kiva is and what we are, and getting them enthralled in the culture, and then they want to actually stay and work here. So I think that's pretty cool. So that made me pretty happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're going to double your overseas team?
Yeah, one of
our teams.
One of your teams.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what sort of like training environment do you have? How would you incorporate something like that and get everybody up to speed?
Oh, I just say, Bobbie, handle that.
I have a training program. So it's actually, Brent talked about Amanda. Amanda on our team, not only does she do customer success, she also handles HR and training, and she's created an awesome training program. It's a 1-month cycle depending on the role. So what we're doing is we're hiring a total of 10 right now. And so most of them will go through like the first 2 weeks of training that everybody gets. And then it'll be specialized training. So we've got a resource that does config level training. We've got a dev resource that will do dev level training. Then my team, like there's going to be folks in my team that will do like delivery, implementation, kind of getting them up to speed on how we work with customers. And then we've got, finally, Brent is getting a little bit of help because we've been very selfish on our side saying, Brent, you don't need marketing. What is that? But now Brent's got building out his team too. So we've moved folks from my group to join his team, but we've got a marketing and sales role. We've got a couple of analyst roles. Brent said this day, starting of the year, we will like double, if not triple. We're already seeing that first quarter, we're near double our entire Ben and Kiva company, near double.
What's your staff count now?
It will be close to 50 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which means my Jira account that I negotiated, we'll have to renegotiate with these people.
Yeah, like you guys aren't startup anymore.
No.
You guys are a mature company.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, it'll be crazy because that was my part of my happy story. I'll just continue on.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Last. So Brent and Sobin and I had a call, and we're like, and I ended the call saying, by the way, I think we're going to have the repeat of this conversation next quarter because we're, we've got this quarter alone, 3 new implementations. And when we are talking about B2B implementations, they're not small. They're like, we've got 3 big implementations that were started, not including 3 change requests, which are more like smaller, like statement of work. And then for next quarter, we're already lining up a couple of, I mean, it's gonna be, it'll be nice. It's always nice, but it's now we've got more people, more help. And
You do you guys have any international business?
We have a couple carriers that we are talking to internationally. And we've shared with those carriers that our platform can work internationally. And another thing that we've got in the pipeline is, there's a press release that went out that we connected to one of the leading admin platforms, and we're doing that again with another company. But this first company that we did the press release on, they also have an admin system overseas that we will be looking to connect to that admin system as well, which will obviously get us into the overseas markets pretty quickly. So yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Wow.
we've talked with a couple of Canadian carriers. If you're listening, we can help you. We can help you.
Adjacent market, right? In so many different ways.
The data privacy laws, don't scare us. We got it. We'll handle it. We know how to handle it.
We got that.
Good for you. Okay, well, let's see if I can do this. My happy story is this.
Oh, look at that.
So
Oh,
just a little guy, you can see up here, says customer in training. So yeah, I mean, we haven't spoken in a while. But like my little guy, before he went to Trader Joe's to go grocery shopping, he's like, "Dad, I have a dream." I'm like, "Okay, what's your
There was
dream?"
a very famous person that started off his line that way.
Yeah, I know that. I know. So I was expecting something, but his dream was simply like that I would play with him in the afternoon. That was his dream.
Wow.
Then I got sent that picture, and it was just like, regardless of whatever else my happy story was, like that just puts a big smile on my face, and that makes everything sort of worthwhile. So that's my happy story. Just a little kid that enjoys being around his dad.
Enjoy it now, because there's going to come a time where he says, "Dad, I have a dream that you'll just give me the car keys and let me do my own thing."
And money. Car keys.
that will never happen with Savannah.
Oh, come
This
on.
podcast is an example. You can store it, and she will not. I've already told her I'm moving with her in college. Sovin can do whatever he wants to. I'm moving with her.
Well, that's my easy happy story. Good spring, turning spring, baseball started.
Yeah.
Big
It
smile.
is pretty outside. Now it's all outdoor activities, and hopefully with COVID, I know they're talking about a phase 4, but at least let's see what's happened. Let's see what happens, but hopefully, we can enjoy the outdoors. And at least last week was the first time I went somewhere that was not within like a 1 hour vicinity. I graduated to 2 hour vicinity, but I went to the mountains in near Asheville, and it was so nice, so pretty. And it was nice to get away.
Yeah, I got my first shot this week.
Oh, nice.
So I actually did not feel well. I thought I was going to be fine, and like yesterday, I was like, I had a headache all day. My stomach was upside down. I'm like, oh, what's wrong? Like, duh. I got vaccinated. Like that's what's wrong. But yeah, like I feel like there's going to be more opportunities to do stuff. I'm going to a flood conference next week. It's one day, but it's like a 2-hour drive in Palm Beach. And it's like, okay, I'm ready. I'll wear a mask. I'll still be safe and all of that. But it's like, it's going to be fun to hang out with you guys at ITC.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking forward to ITC. I think that's going to be, there's a lot of, from a conference perspective, I think, when the virtual conferences came out, when COVID first hit, everybody thought, oh, this is great, right? But then after a little bit, it kind of fell by the wayside because people just get zoomed out, right? I mean, they're on Zoom calls for their job, then they go do a Zoom call for a conference, and it was just too much. So
Too many distractions.
yeah, I think there's a lot of pent up demand for conferences. Actually, I think people want to get back together and actually meet people and see people. And fortunately for us, we've done a pretty good job at building some of those relationships over Zoom, but it's different, right? It's different than sitting down and having a dinner and a drink with somebody and learning more about them on a personal level that has nothing to do with business. And those are the type of things that I think we lose, over Zoom. Now, fortunately, we've kind of thought outside the box on some of those things, and we do like happy hours and cocktail hours and things over Zoom. But even then, it's fun. It's what we can do now, but it's not the same.
Yeah, agreed.
I think one good lesson though, with like Brent, when we were traveling back in 2019, I think when we travel back up in 2021, I feel like it's going to be meaningful travel.
Yes.
And I say that to say that some of the travel, when you analyze back in 2019, lessons of experience were like, I think I could have done that virtually,
Sure.
or maybe this wasn't the event that we should have been because we did something similar. It didn't really yield. I think we will become more conscious about our actions when it comes to travel, because what we've tasted in 2020 is that we were able to sign contracts in a very expedited fashion just because of the nature, without having to be traveling to one carrier site 3 to 5 times so that they can sign a deal.
Right.
I think that is good lessons learned, that even on the other side, they should, it'll create some type of a balance, right? Mm-hmm. Where, yes, all remote doesn't help with the relationship building. There's a couple of times that I was like, oh, I really want to whiteboard with you, just because this is very difficult to do it on Zoom, and you just kind of figure out, be creative, that we can do those, but we get to pick and choose those meaningful sessions. Yeah. And I think that's what I'm hoping for 2021 and beyond. Let's travel in a very meaningful and needed way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt like a traveling contortionist, just shoehorning trips that I look back on. It's just like, this will be, I can now travel for the trips I really should be traveling for. And now everyone will be set up, right? So that I don't have to aggressively amend my schedule to be in New York or whatever. Just get me up on a screen, because you only need me for 15 minutes. Yeah. Why should I waste an entire day trip and travel and all of the stress that goes with that? So I see that on the other side. Exactly, Bobbie, just so helpful. Just streamlining the amount of trips I have to take. Yeah. The necessary ones, by all means, and there'll be many I'll look forward to. Uh-huh. But it was just getting exhausting to just okay, well, I'm going to be in Des Moines, right? Should I stop in Chicago, right? And those things were happening all the time, where it was I'd go to Omaha, then Des Moines, then Chicago, then back home, and 2 days later I'm in New York City. It's I don't want to live like that. Yeah. Most people don't.
Yeah. Everybody talks about the travel thing. Oh, that's so fun. You get to go to all these places. Because in 2019, I think we traveled, I think it was 41 or 47 weeks out of the 52. It was a lot. And, well, granted, some of those travel trips might have been, fly over for a meeting tomorrow, fly back the next day. I mean, so it wasn't like I was gone for the entire week or anything, but still, a lot of people look at that and go, oh, that's so fun. You were in New York and Boston and this, and no, it sounds a lot funner than it actually is. It's exhausting, actually. Travel is exhausting.
Airport trips, having to so I'm always timing it, right? So I'm driving to Boston. It's okay, my flight's at 2. I really need to be there by 1, so I should leave by noon. right? And then all of a sudden you hit traffic and your heart starts pounding like,
Yeah.
I'm cutting it close here, right? And it's like, okay, I got through security. Now, like I was gonna whip out my laptop and work, but I gotta kind of wind myself back down because I was like sprinting through, just trying to get to my gate. And it's not luxurious. It's fun when you first do it, but after a while, it physically wears you down.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, this wraps up our Happy Friday episode for the week. Until next time, happy Friday, everyone.
See you everyone.
Happy Friday. Happy weekend.